dark, filled with smoke, violence, and ambition. But a city still reeling from World War I becomes the perfect battleground for ruthless gangs fighting for dominance. Among them is the formidable Peaky Blinders, led by the razor-sharp and dangerously ambitious Thomas Shelby. The rise of the Peaky Blinders. As the season begins, we are introduced to Tommy Shelby, played by Cillian Murphy, a war hero who has returned from the trenches of France with more than just physical scars. He is a man changed by war, carrying a quiet but deadly demeanor. Unlike the mindless thugs of Birmingham, Tommy is calculated, strategic, and always 5 steps ahead. His family, the Shelbys, run an illegal betting business, but Tommy has bigger dreams. He wants to turn the Peaky Blinders into a legitimate empire. But fate has other plans. One night, a shipment of guns from the government goes missing. The authorities are enraged and they send a relentless Belfast police chief, Inspector Chester Campbell, to Birmingham. Campbell, played by Sam Neill, is a hard-nosed, righteous man determined to clean up crime. But more than anything, he wants to bring Tommy Shelby down. Tommy's game of chess. Tommy's first move is expanding his betting operations, and in doing so, he clashes with Billy Kimber, the dominant bookmaker of the region. Kimber is rich, powerful, and brutal, but Tommy isn't intimidated. He plays a long game, using cunning and deception to slowly erode Kimber's control. Meanwhile, Tommy meets Grace Burgess, a charming yet mysterious barmaid who starts working at the Garrison, the pub controlled by the Peaky Blinders. Unbeknownst to Tommy, Grace is actually an undercover agent working for Inspector Campbell. She was placed there to gather information on the gang, especially about the stolen guns. However, as she gets closer to Tommy, she finds herself torn between duty and emotions, the rivalries and blood feuds. As Tommy consolidates power, he faces multiple threats. Inspector Campbell's relentless pursuit. Campbell is obsessed with bringing Tommy down and will use any means necessary. He even blackmails Grace, pushing her to betray Tommy before she falls too deep. Billy Kimber's wrath. As Tommy grows stronger, Kimber sees him as a direct threat. A brutal war between the Peaky Blinders and Kimber's men is inevitable. The IRA's involvement. Tommy's stolen guns attract the attention of the Irish Republican Army, IRA, who demand that he return them or suffer grave consequences. Internal family struggles. While Tommy is a natural leader, not everyone in his family agrees with his vision. His older brother Arthur Shelby, a hot-headed and violent man, struggles to live under Tommy's shadow. Polly Gray, the matriarch of the family, often warns Tommy about his ambition, leading them to destruction. Betrayal and consequences. Tommy begins to suspect that someone close to him is a traitor, but before he can confirm his suspicions, Grace makes her move. Under pressure from Campbell, she betrays Tommy by revealing crucial information about the stolen guns. But here's the twist. Grace has truly fallen for Tommy. She tries to warn him before it's too late, leading to a dangerous confrontation between Tommy and the authorities. With everything falling apart, Tommy does what he does best. He makes a final, daring move. Instead of returning the guns to the government or the IRA, he uses them as leverage to cut a deal with Winston Churchill's men, securing protection and ensuring that neither the government nor the IRA can touch him. This is the moment Tommy Shelby transitions from a street gangster to a powerful force in Birmingham's underworld. The explosive finale. The final episode delivers high-stakes action. Tommy and the Peaky Blinders take on Billy Kimber's men in a dramatic, gun-blazing showdown. Tommy outmaneuvers Kimber, using tactics that highlight his military precision and ruthlessness. As the dust settles, Kimber is dead, and Tommy claims victory. The Peaky Blinders are now at the top. However, the war is far from over. Inspector Campbell, furious over his failures, seeks personal revenge. In the closing moments, he corners Grace in a dark alley, pointing a gun at her. A gunshot rings out, and the screen fades to black, leaving the audience in suspense. The morals of the story. Though Peaky Blinders is a thrilling crime drama, it also offers deep moral lessons. Power comes at a cost. Tommy Shelby's rise to power is remarkable, but he loses parts of himself along the way. His relationships suffer, and he is constantly haunted by his actions. Loyalty versus betrayal. The show explores the fine line between trust and deception. Grace betrays Tommy, but also loves him. Campbell fights for justice, but lets his personal vendettas consume him. Ambition versus morality. Tommy is willing to do anything to build his empire, but his choices put him and his family in constant danger. The question remains, how far is too far? The consequences of war. The trauma of World War I looms over every character. Tommy, Arthur, and others struggle with PTSD, showing how war shapes men in ways that society fails to understand. Final Thoughts Season 1 of Peaky Blinders is an electrifying start to a saga of crime, power, and human struggle. It introduces us to one of television's most compelling characters, Tommy Shelby, a man who walks the fine line between brilliance and destruction. As the season ends, we are left with one burning question. Will Tommy's ambition make him unstoppable, or will it ultimately destroy him? With the stakes higher than ever, the Peaky Blinders have only just begun their reign, and Birmingham will never be the same. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for Season 2.